She thought she could block my road, my family's road, and lock me out of my own cabin. 10 days later, her entire HOA kingdom stank like death itself, and she was gone for good. That's what happens when you corner a man who builds foundations for a living. My name's Logan Brooks. I run a small construction company, the kind that still does things right, no shortcuts, no lies, no excuses. 3 months ago, I got the call that changed everything. My grandfather, Henry Brooks, had passed away. He wasn't just family. He was the man who taught me how to pour concrete, how to stand up straight, and how to never back down when someone tries to bully you off what's yours. He left me his cabin in Pine Valley, the one we built together 20 years ago. The will had one strange line. Remember, son, we own more than just the cabin. Check the 1955 deed. I didn't think much of it back then. Looking back now, I should have known Grandpa never said anything without a reason. The first time I drove up there after the funeral, the air smelled like pine and wet earth home. Until I saw her. A woman in her 50s standing by my cabin snapping photos like she was surveying an enemy fort. Crisp, beige, suit-manicured nails that smile people wear when they're about to ruin your day. "Can I help you?" I asked. She turned eyes sharp as rebar. "I don't recall being notified about new visitors in our community," she said. "My name's Logan Brooks, Henry's grandson. This cabin's mine now." Her smile faltered for half a second, then came back colder. "Brooks, you said I don't remember that name on our HOA roster." I laughed. Probably because this cabin was built before your HOA existed. Her jaw twitched. "I'm Barbara Fitzgerald, president of the Pine Valley Homeowners Association. We'll need to review your situation." That word, review, sounded less like a policy and more like a threat. Within a week, I had 15 violation notices. 15. My driveway repairs were unauthorized, my construction trailer unsightly, my truck too commercial. Each fine had her signature with a cute little smiley face next to it. That's when my neighbor Tom Sullivan dropped by with a six-pack and a warning. "Welcome to Barbara's kingdom," he said. "She ran 3 families out last year. Good people. The Martinezes, the Patels, the Jacksons. Her husband's a lawyer, so she's untouchable." I shrugged it off at first, but then came the emergency HOA meeting. Barbara stood at the podium like a politician on stage clicking through slides of the community roads. "We're introducing a road maintenance fee," she announced. $500 per month per household. I stood up. "My cabin's off the main loop. I maintain my own driveway. I don't use HOA roads." Her smile was surgical. "Oh, but you do, Mr. Brooks. You have to drive through them to reach your property. No pay, no access." Her husband, Brad, chimed in, nasal voice oozing arrogance. "From a legal standpoint, we have every right to restrict road usage." I clenched my jaw. "Then I'll review the property records first." Barbara's grin widened. "Of course, you have 30 days to comply, or we'll take appropriate measures." That night, I couldn't shake the feeling something was off. On my grandpa's workbench, I found an old map and his project logs, every entry detailed and dated. One note caught my eye. "Barbara F. getting aggressive again. The truth can't stay buried forever. Just like Emily." I didn't know who Emily was, but the next morning a black Lexus with no plates cruised past my cabin. Then came a text from an unknown number. "Your grandfather kept his mouth shut for 10 years. You should too." The next day I woke to find my property sealed off. A brand new iron gate 10 feet tall stood at the community entrance. Sign read, "Pine Valley HOA. Members only." Barbara was there, radiant in her burgundy suit, eyes glinting. "Only paying members get the gate code," she said sweetly. "Sorry for any inconvenience." "You can't do this," I snapped. "I have a legal right to access my property." "Actually," she said, tapping her phone, "I can. Feel free to sue me, though I doubt a construction worker can afford lawyers." Her laugh scraped across my nerves like a trowel on steel. That was the first time I felt real rage boil up, but watching other residents quietly enter their codes heads down beaten, I realized Barbara didn't just rule with fines. She ruled with fear. I had to park outside the gate and hike 2 miles through brush to reach my cabin. When I got there, the power was cut. A note on the door read, Electrical service suspended for maintenance evaluation. That night, flashlight in hand, I searched every corner of the cabin. Then I remembered Grandpa's cryptic note. For Logan, when they crossed the line. Beneath a metal plate in the concrete floor, I found a safe. Inside, 3 things: a key to a safety deposit box, a USB drive, and a letter. Son, if you're reading this, someone's trying to steal what's ours. The surveyor has the maps. Tom knows why. Be careful who you trust, but trust Tom. The next morning, Tom showed up, backpack slung over his shoulder, face grim. He laid a photo on the table, a young woman with kind eyes. "This was my sister Emily," he said quietly. "Barbara killed her." I froze. 10 years ago, Barbara left a gala, drunk, drove her Lexus at 60 miles an hour, and hit Emily on the back road behind my property. She died instantly. Barbara fled the scene, claimed her car was stolen, and her husband cleaned up the rest. My grandfather had seen everything. His security cameras captured the whole thing. He'd stayed silent for Tom's mother's sake, but kept the evidence. Suddenly, everything made sense. The harassment, the threats, the mysterious note about Emily. Barbara wasn't protecting HOA rules, she was protecting a crime. Tom took me to meet Mike Johnson, an old surveyor. Mike spread out the original 1955 deed. "See this?" he said, tracing the lines. "This road everyone drives on, it's not HOA property. It's Brooks' property. Your granddad's father granted an easement use rights, not ownership." Mike flipped another document. "In 2019, Barbara shifted the fence lines 20 feet onto your land and filed it as HOA road. That's fraud." That night, I sat alone staring at the evidence. My chest ached with anger and confusion. I wanted to blow the whole thing up, literally. But then a thought crept in. Am I becoming like her? Using power to destroy instead of build. I poured myself a drink, stared at Grandpa's photo. "You always said the hardest jobs need the steadiest hands," I muttered. "All right, old man, time to pour some concrete justice." The next morning, I called in a favor from an old Marine buddy who ran a trucking company. "Danny," I said, "remember that time in Kandahar when I saved your sorry ass? I'm calling it in. 3 trucks, full loads, rebar forms concrete mix. Deliver them to Pine Valley Gate at dawn, and make sure one of them has an accident." At 5:30 a.m., the first truck's axle snapped, spilling 20 tons of steel beams across the narrow mountain road. The second jackknifed, blocking both lanes. The third stopped behind them, full of quickset mix. The HOA's precious gate was buried under a mountain of rebar and concrete forms. By 6:00 a.m., I was there in full safety gear, clipboard in hand, looking every bit the concerned contractor. Officer Martinez pulled up, chuckling under his breath. "Rough morning, Logan." "Yeah," I said deadpan. $100,000 worth of materials. Each beam's got to be inspected before moving. Safety protocol. Could take a week. He nodded. Safety first. By 7 Hose Road, Barbara arrived. Her scream could have cracked granite. "You can't block the road like this," she shrieked. "Wasn't me," I said innocently. "Just an unfortunate construction accident." By 9 Hose Road, 50 cars were backed up. People were honking, shouting. Barbara was red-faced, sweating, yelling into her phone. I set up a food truck for the cleanup crew and told residents might be here a while. Can't rush concrete. Over the next few days, we cleaned slowly while secretly installing 12 reinforced concrete planters, each 8 feet wide and 4 feet thick, weighing 15 tons apiece. Every one stamped with a bronze plate. Brooks Construction, beautifying Pine Valley since 1955. Inside those planters, I planted ginkgo trees, Bradford pears, and a few Titan arum bulbs, corpse flowers. Perfectly legal. Perfectly horrifying. Day 6, I arranged them in a winding pattern. The road now resembled a concrete maze, forcing cars to slow to 5 miles per hour. By day 10, the smell hit. Rotten butter, dead fish, and death itself. Pine Valley had become the world's most expensive stink trap. Channel 7 News showed up. The headline, HOA President versus Concrete, Concrete Wins. Barbara, desperate, tried everything. sending hired goons to destroy the barriers they got caught on my hidden cameras and arrested. Then she rammed her Lexus into one, totaled it. The clip went viral overnight. Her empire was crumbling. But that night, as I sat alone in my dark cabin, the stench of victory didn't smell sweet. It smelled hollow. I looked at Grandpa's picture and whispered, "Am I really making things right? Or just burying my soul in concrete?" I almost called the whole thing off. Almost. Then I saw the photo of Emily again. Her smile, her youth. And I knew this wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about truth. The next evening, I texted Barbara. "Meet me at the cabin, alone." She showed up at dusk, exhausted, makeup streaked, eyes hollow. "If this is another one of your games, Brooks, sit down," I said, turning my laptop toward her. The screen flickered to life. Grainy footage from a night 10 years ago. A Lexus swerving the thud, the headlights illuminating a young woman's body. Barbara's face clear in the driver's seat. She gasped, hand over her mouth. "Oh, God. I thought it was a deer." The door creaked open. Tom stepped inside, his face carved from stone. She froze. You're Emily's brother." 10 years, Tom said. 10 years of silence. I looked her dead in the eyes. "You've got two options, Barbara. One, this footage goes public, you lose everything, maybe prison if they reopen the case. 2, you resign, confess everything to the community, pay restitution, and leave Pine Valley for good." Her lips trembled. "My children, please." 10 years ago, Tom said, voice shaking, my sister had dreams. Nursing school. Kids. You took that. You don't get to cry about consequences now. I set a timer on my phone. 60 seconds. Choose. At 30 seconds, she broke. Grabbed the pen, signed the resignation letter, sobbing. "I'll do it. I'll confess." The next night, Pine Valley's community center was packed. Barbara stood at the podium, voice trembling. "For years, I've abused my power. I've harassed families, falsified property lines, stolen funds." She paused. "And I covered up a terrible accident." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Tom sat in the back, eyes wet. When she mentioned Emily's name, the silence was heavy enough to crush steel. Then Brad, her husband, stood up. "I've known for years," he said quietly, "and I helped her hide it. Not anymore." He dropped divorce papers on the table and walked out. Barbara's legs gave out. The room voted unanimously to dissolve the HOA board that night. As she was escorted out, she looked at me tired, broken human for once. I didn't say a word. I just watched the concrete queen crumble under the weight of her own foundation. And if there's one thing I learned from all this, it's that justice, like concrete, takes time to set. But once it does, it's permanent.